Story 1. I am trying to arrange my priorities, address my psychological challenges, and improve my financial situation. Then I will consider it. Story 2. My life is stagnated right now, and I barely get to meet new people. I enjoy meeting people the old-fashioned way and strongly prefer things to be real, organic, and spontaneous. Therefore, I stay far away from dating apps. It's a stalemate, sadly. Story 3. Not relationship material. Some people aren't meant to be anything other than single, and that is completely okay with me. Story 4. I'm tired of trying. It's not heartbreak. It's an overall loss of hope, which might be even worse. Story 5. I don't want to be single. I feel like I have so much love to give, but as soon as I trust someone, it takes me years to recover. I have given up searching. I just want to feel safe and find peace. Story 6. Last partner exhausted me. I no longer want to deal with another person's moods, selfishness, and self-absorption. Also, I am a 51-year-old tomboy, so no one in my age group wants to date me. Story 7. I can't seem to find someone I want to spend my free time with. Anyone I've been with feels like a drag, a drain, and a chore before the second month ends. Story 8. I notice the change in dynamics when things start to go wrong or when there is something bothering the person I'm talking to. I try to address it and want to discuss what's on their mind. They become uncomfortable and start to ignore me. I feel upset. I attempt to communicate more frequently. They become irritated. I feel hurt by their lack of response. I continue trying to communicate. I keep receiving vague answers that are open to interpretation. Eventually, I accept that this person does not respect me and decide to move on. Story 9. Timing. I really liked my ex. We had a great time together, but I expressed my feelings for her when she wasn't ready for that kind of commitment. The signals were there, but I guess she got cold feet. It's been rough since then. It's hard to think straight, and I have trust issues. I know there are other people out there, but I really liked her a lot. I've been trying to become a better version of myself so that I don't end up hung up on her. It's taking longer than I thought it would, but slowly I'm healing, I guess. I had never experienced a breakup that hurt as much as this one. That's how I know I really liked her. Sometimes I wish I had just kept my mouth shut. Such is life. Story 10. Personal choice. I do not want marriage or children. I am very content being alone and with myself. I can entertain myself. I am hyper-independent and love myself. I prefer platonic love over romantic love. Story 11. Because the only thing more abundant about me than my weight is my issues. Additionally, I am too lazy to try to find a partner. Story 12. I have become too comfortable with being alone. When someone enters my life but does not add value or happiness, I distance myself from that person. My peace is far more important than being in a relationship. Story 13. I was told, word for word, after already being in a deep state of depression, that I had nothing to offer as both a man and a partner. This definitely caused damage to my soul as well as my mental health. Story 14. I live in New York City, and everyone here seems to have Peter Pan syndrome. You often find grown adults in their 30s claiming they are only looking for casual relationships. Story 15. By choice, I am a 48-year-old gay man. I have a close group of friends to spend time with and a specific circle of friends for intimate encounters. I have no interest in raising children and prefer to keep my finances separate. I value my privacy. Story 16. I have been single for about 5 to 6 years. I am genuinely happy, and every aspect of my life is going well, especially my health and career. While having a relationship would be nice, finding the right partner can be challenging. However, I do not stress about it. I will turn 30 in 1 month, and I have encountered bad luck with several women, facing a lot of ghosting and being ignored, which I find immature. It is important to do what you believe is best for yourself. If I remain single, that is completely fine. Story 17. I am not motivated to date. Being single does not bother me. Even if I were, I feel too tired during my free time because I struggle with insomnia. Story 18. I just haven't met a guy who can reciprocate and match my low standards. Story 19. I am 34 years old. I have had two relationships, one lasting 12 years and the other lasting 5 years. I need time for myself, my children, my dog, and my job. I do not have the mental, emotional, or financial capacity for a relationship. Additionally, I have experienced significant trauma from abusive partners. Honestly, the only thing I truly miss is the financial support. Story 20. I don't know where to meet people. I have never been asked out in my life, so I can assume I am just unattractive. Story 21. Most men I meet only want sex from me. I'm not interested in those who want more, and I don't want to settle. Story 22. I have experienced a lot of generational trauma and have witnessed many failed relationships around me, where people mask their struggles with false happiness and compromise. From my childhood, I understood that relationships are not for me. I am genuinely happy being single and feel relieved it will all end with me. Story 23. Because I value my peace of mind. With texting, you are often robbed of that peace if he doesn't text enough, if he doesn't say the right things, or worse, if he stops texting altogether. It's a headache. Story 24. Unattractive, uninteresting, not especially smart, impoverished, aging, and I do not particularly enjoy the company of others. Story 25. I don't want to settle and haven't met the right person yet. Focusing on myself in the last year has been liberating. Story 26. A drunk driver killed my fiancée. He is serving time now. We will meet after he is released. He will pay for what he did. Story 27. I don't know. I have always been single and have never had a relationship. I studied, went to university, found a job, and worked in a different country for years. I have never committed any acts of violence or offenses, nor have I used recreational drugs, smoked, or abused alcohol. I visited cities, went to concerts, and participated in events. My appearance is not bad either. Still, I am alone. I may have a serious mental illness that I am unaware of, which may be evident to those around me, or perhaps I am simply unlucky. Also, maybe meeting someone is not something you can control. That's it. Story 28. I choose to be. I enjoy owning my own space, having my belongings, spending time with my friends, and doing what I want. I do not feel a strong desire to share that. Story 29. I have been cheated and made a fool so many times that I decided to be alone. I got hurt so much that I am better off alone. Now, I am being blamed and called many bad names. They all know the full story but choose to side with the dishonest. I am tired of being played with. Story 30. Because I cannot risk getting heartbroken again, I ruin things pretty quickly. After my last heartbreak, I thought I would harm myself. I do not want to feel this way ever again. Story 31. I am 40 years old. I have given up on myself. My teeth are decaying, and I cannot afford to fix them. I do not have a car. I live in a poor quality house without running water. I work long hours in the afternoon and do not know anyone. I am single because I feel unattractive and depressed. Even when I tried my hardest, I did not feel valuable. Story 32. I haven't met the right woman yet. I have only felt a spark with a few people, but unfortunately, things didn't work out. Story 33. No one wants me, and I don't want to chase after anyone. Sure, I would love to spend my time with someone I romantically love, but let's be real here. It isn't happening. Life isn't that kind. Story 34. It's hard to meet people, and the few I do meet are either already in relationships or we just don't connect. I can't seem to find anyone with whom I can envision a long-term future, unfortunately. Story 35. I'm not in contact with people outside of my family and work. My social abilities are limited. I prefer being alone. I do not enjoy being with others if we do not share similar interests, and it is challenging to find individuals who appreciate the things I do. I believe I am meant to be alone. Story 36. I enjoy being alone. I prefer not to deal with other people's problems, and at my age, most people have their own challenges. Story 37. Severely burned out. I have a huge buildup of mental pain and personal issues that make it very difficult for me to be a healthy partner in any romantic relationship. Life constantly reminds me why I should stay alone. Story 38. Aromantic. I am not a good person. Having a girlfriend can be costly. Being in a relationship requires a lot of effort. I generally dislike people. Story 39. Because we agreed not to have intimate relations during our first sleepover, even when things became heated. They did, but I didn't let it go too far. The next day, he barely responded to my messages once I was home. I gave him space and didn't message him all day. Then he sent me a long text that started with the statement, "I'm cranky." He complained that he was no longer attracted to me because we didn't have intimate relations, despite our agreement. He also mentioned issues with my lifestyle and that I lived too far away. I ended the relationship after that. All he wanted was to be intimate. His place was also quite unclean, with a very dirty kitchen and crumbs everywhere, along with wine stains on the carpet from his ex that he never bothered to clean. I'm still single at the moment because I need to get my finances in order before I start dating again. Story 40. Because a guy used me last summer, and apparently his coworkers were betting on whether he would get with me or not. He started dating someone else after he got what he wanted, so I lost my respect for men. Story 41. I have always been single. I have no natural ways of meeting women, and even if I did, nobody has ever found me physically attractive. It is also very rare for me to find someone physically attractive. While the lack of connection makes me immensely sad at times, I am not desperate enough to settle for a relationship just for the sake of being in one. Story 42. I have experienced both the best and the worst of it. In my opinion, there is much more to lose than to gain. Stick to friendships. Story 43. I am taking a break because my mental health is not great. I would prefer for a relationship to be an enhancement to my life rather than a coping mechanism. Story 44. Because I have someone on my mind, I hope it won't be for too much longer. Things are heading in a good direction. Story 45. I am trying to get my life in order first. I have a decent job now, but it is still not enough. I don't have a car yet. I still live with my parents, and I need to lose more weight. In my previous relationships, I was called boring, so I am very cautious in choosing a partner now. Finding someone who is relaxed and enjoys the same hobbies as I do is very difficult. Story 46. I am in a rebuilding phase of life and have not yet found anyone I want to really open up to. I am being patient and will wait to see how it plays out. Story 47. Because the guy I was dating and fell in love with, even though he treated me well and showed me that he really liked me, said he isn't ready for a relationship and ended things on good terms. Now a part of me is missing. Story 48. I do not put myself in the position to meet new potential partners for a relationship. I work and then go home. Story 49. I am a large and round man, which makes me lack confidence when speaking to women. As a result, I often avoid conversations with them because I fear rejection. Story 50. I am exploring myself and the broader picture of how I fit into the puzzle of life. I am working to gather funds to travel the world and explore wildlife, places, and cultures. However, being in a relationship limits my ability to do so to some extent. Story 51. Mainly because it has been 10 years since my last relationship, and now I am comfortable with being single and too set in my ways to even consider starting a new one. Story 52. I am healing myself first before I meet someone. I refuse to be a physical burden or bring my trauma into a new relationship. Story 53. I am focusing on self-improvement and exploring my likes and dislikes. I am finally ready to separate my identity from being a mother, which has defined me for so long. Taking the time to discover the new me has been a positive experience. Story 54. Because I chose to relax on my own, my marriage ended, leaving me with a large young family. At that time, I actually liked my own company. Story 55. I cannot name a single thing about myself that could be considered attractive. I am also the most forgetful person alive and rarely understand how interpersonal relationships work. Story 56. Relationships in the past have caused me negative feelings for about 90% of the time, so I have vowed to take 2025 slow, possibly remaining single. It's not easy, as I have been used to dating for many years now. Story 57. I got out of a domestic violence situation, moved to a new city, and am focusing on finding myself before getting out there again. I want my next relationship to be my last, so I am not rushing into anything. Story 58. No one looks beyond appearances. I personally value personality when it comes to a relationship, but until I find the right one, I'm not ready. Story 59. There are many reasons, but I believe a significant one is that you can't ask women out anymore. It's similar to applying for a job. You can't just walk in and ask, you have to apply online. I don't want to apply online. Story 60. Probably because every girl I am interested in is already taken. I had a few chances with some girls, but it never worked out, or they found another guy while I was trying hard to start something with them, and that frustrates me a bit. Plus, I live in a small town, so there are not many opportunities here to find someone. But as some people said, maybe it is just meant to be this way. I would like to find someone since I am almost 30, have a stable job and everything I need, but I am fine on my own. You never know. Maybe the girl of my dreams is just around the corner. Story 61. I am single because mentally I am not where I want to be in life. I have a lot of inner work to do on myself before I can be there for a partner. I can admit I have abandonment issues which lead me to act clingy with men, and it is unfair for both me and them to date like that. My goal is to work on myself for the next 5 years and then possibly start dating in my 30s. Love yourself. Story 62. All the women I like already have their partners. I'm fairly certain this applies to most women in the world. Story 63. I will never be in another relationship. I have never dated. On the second date, it is important to drive separately and not park in their driveway. Story 64. I gave everything to our friendship, relationship, and marriage, but I was lied to, cheated on, and left for dead. It has taken over 2 years to get myself back on track. I am focusing on myself and the kids now. I am significantly better than I have ever been, so I will embrace this for a while. Story 65. I thought my ex was the one. We never argued, always had fun, and got along perfectly. I had a rough patch at work while building my house with my dad, who was undergoing chemotherapy, and she decided to split up because I was stressed and refused to spend more time with her instead of helping my dad. 2 to 3 nights a week was apparently not enough when I was building a house where we were going to live together. Looking back, she lived in a fairy tale, and I ignored things like, "You won't need to see your friends when we live together." I think it left me with the impression that women are cruel, and I have no time for that. Story 66. I can't deal with drama and lies. I am focusing on myself after dealing with an alcoholic for quite some time. Traveling alone is the best experience ever. Story 67. There is something in my subconscious that prevents me from forming a serious relationship until my finances are in order. I need to be able to afford an apartment, student loan payments, car payments, and still feel like I can take my significant other out without feeling overwhelmed. The problem is that I am not motivated by money. Once my bills are paid, it feels like money has no value. I cannot take it with me when I die. I do not feel excited about making money like most people do when they receive a $5,000 check. So the cycle continues. Story 68. I don't have the heart to try again. After my last breakup, my mom said it's okay if I don't ever have a family because my sister already gave her grandkids. Story 69. I'm too broke to afford it. I don't even go out or do anything by myself. Going on dates and paying not only for myself but for my partner is absolutely out of the question. I value peace more than all the added stress and responsibility that come with even a good relationship, let alone a negative one. Story 70. I have never been in a relationship. I finished university and am currently working in technology. When I'm not working, I am at home cooking, focusing on my fitness, playing games with my friends, procrastinating, or trying to develop myself to secure a better, higher-paying job. I make no effort and have no idea how or where to meet women. I do not drink or smoke, and I am not a fan of dating apps. Additionally, there are not many social hangouts nearby. I prefer not to meet someone at work because I am in my mid-20s, and there are not many women on my current team, let alone in my age group. It genuinely feels over. Story 71. 35 years old. After separating from my ex, my mental health was not in a good place, and I noticed a pattern of jumping into relationships soon after one ended out of fear of being alone. I have since focused on getting healthy, learning boundaries, and not turning red flags into positives. It has been a year and a half, and I feel very healthy and happy. Learning to love myself and being okay with being alone has helped me avoid settling for less. If I meet someone, that's great, but I'm content on my own. Story 72. 4 years ago, my wife committed suicide, and I just don't have the strength to try to be in another relationship. Story 73. It is challenging for me to find someone who is single, in my age group, and with whom I connect. Story 74. Love shyness. I can't look at women I find attractive. I have had 4 girlfriends in my life, and they all made the first move. I have never approached a woman. I have had conversations at bars with people and dancers as well, but they were just conversations. Plus, drinking helps me relax. Story 75. I just got out of a 1.5-year relationship with my best friend last month. We realized that we are not really working out as a couple. We still love and care about each other, but we shouldn't be together. Right now, we are keeping some distance while still checking in with each other. In the meantime, we are trying to work on our own problems and flaws. Story 76. Single 35-year-old father of 2 children with full custody. Unlike my ex, I actually have to vet future partners because my children rely on me. It has been 3 years, and I have not dated anyone since we split up. She, on the other hand, just had another baby. Her drama always seems to come back to me. I have experienced nothing but drama for 3 years, even though I don't leave the house. I can't imagine getting a partner involved. On a side note, I did get a date for Friday evening, so ask me again in a week. Story 77. It's purely by choice. I find the single life quite peaceful these days. There is no pressure and no one to answer to. I can sit back and focus on what brings me peace and happiness. Story 78. Honestly, after my last serious relationship ended, it affected me deeply, and it took some time for me to feel ready to put myself out there again. However, when I finally try, I often get cold feet and feel scared of things progressing. I still have no idea how to date people I like who also like me back. Story 79. My own personal growth journey and hopefully the beginning of a similar journey for him. Maybe we will find our way back. Maybe we won't. However, I aim to become a healthier, better version of myself by rewiring my mindset and moving beyond survival mode. I am learning to be authentic with myself and in my relationships. You cannot have a healthy relationship with others if you do not have a healthy relationship with yourself. Story 80. My wife passed away about 13 years ago, leaving me with 4 school-age children to raise on my own. I have had a few brief relationships over the years, but nothing serious. Now that the children are grown and I am retired, I no longer have the desire or energy for a relationship. Story 81. People are never who they say they are. It's the pretending that concerns me. They become everything you say you are looking for. Then they start unpeeling like layers of an onion. Story 82. I have no desire to bring someone into my life. I have had enough bad experiences, and unfortunately, I have found that my significant other is the most scrutinizing person I have been around. I do not want to live in a state of mind where I am constantly trying to impress someone. I am simply waiting for a good thing. Story 83. Raising 2 kids, working full-time, and keeping the house clean and tidy barely leaves me with time for myself, let alone a relationship. Story 84. I let an undiagnosed narcissist ruin my life, and now I deal with perceived betrayal by downplaying any romantic interaction with severe sarcasm. I test people with some of my worst behavior to see if they will stick around through it. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.